Welcome back to the channel, Gods and Goddesses in Training. Today I want to remind you to be the walking temple of divine light, okay? And what I mean by this is you constantly take inventory of all of the things that you're putting into your system and how you're living your life, okay? Start to understand that there's a very powerful equilibrium point where if you pay attention to going beyond the duality, beyond the polarized world, you will start to shift your pattern into one where you become the neutral wire. I remember back in the day, I used to really enjoy this theater exercise where you had one group of people on one side yelling insults at you and one group of people on another side yelling compliments at you, like exaggerated, right? And you just have to walk through the middle, remain centered, and not react to anything that's being said. You need to learn how to flush out the noise and create your own melody. This is a very, very important key that I think a lot of people miss out on. And this is one of the keys to being that pillar of light wherever you go, is you start to understand that I am fresh in this moment. I am new always. So you're not attached to some storyline of how you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to appear. That could be embedded into your belief systems. This is why we try to find your beliefs, your limiting beliefs, and we change them into limitless beliefs. Because that's one of the ways in which we change the reality around us. We start to actually manipulate the reality around us, right? Through our own energy. It's not like in a deceptive way. More so, we're doing it from the standpoint of really understanding what we're about. So someone was asking me recently about how do you create more high testosterone and luck in situations. Something to understand about luck is think back to the luckiest moments of your life, okay? And I want you to make a note of what were the situations that put you in that state. So luck is a state of mind, okay? Just like you believe that you are lucky, luck will start streaming in, okay? You know the real meaning of the word superstition, okay? It means to overstare at something, which means you're attached to that thing. You're not living in the super. You're superstitious. You have created a wall of Maya from you and the spiritual world. You get what I mean? You're looking at that superstition with awe because of your cultural conditioning, and you're going, oh yeah, a black cat crossed my path, I'm gonna have bad luck, and then it creates that bad luck. You walk underneath the ladder and you think, oh, I could have gotten injured by the ladder, and so that little doubt that creeps in, that mustard seed of doubt creeps in, right? But you need a mustard seed of faith. So this right now is one of the biggest game changers for you to create lucky situations. Understand the moments when you are luckiest, retrace your steps. What were the things you were feeling and emanating during those moments, during that time? Okay? I remember when I was walking down the streets of LA and I met CeeLo Green, okay, the guy who sang Forget You, right, that guy. I was saying to myself, I am me, only me, and nobody else. I'm Sumed, only Sumed, and nobody else, right? And I was saying that over and over again until it was hardwired. And then suddenly, as I was saying that mantra, CeeLo Green appeared coming out of a car, okay? And then I spoke to him and so forth. However, start to understand that that wouldn't have happened if I wasn't tapping into what? A frequency where I was trusting in my own faculties and abilities. You see, so that moment of me taking my energy that I usually give out into the external world, right? What is this person thinking of me? What is that person doing? Instead, I went, I am me, only me, nobody else. And that created this container of positive ripple effect, which got me in tune with that same celebrity's waverings or patterns. That's something that they were also experiencing in my vibe or a frequency, so we met on the same path. Now, that's the way that I choose to think about it. That might have not been the case or whatever. I might have just seen him or whatever. However, I've noticed that if I am a pattern recognizer, if I'm a flow state Jedi, I notice all the patterns around me. I am doing something and it's creating an impact on my environment, on other people around me. And I've got to get conscious about that luck creation process. You get what I'm saying? So to become the walking temple of light, you understand, you take this essence wherever you go, in a sense. So as the walking temple of light, you understand you remain in your code, you remain in your frequency. You don't shift that around a lot. You just remain in that pocket. And what I'm telling you right now is, you were also asking me about high testosterone, right? What if you spent time in a high testosterone environment? Okay, think about this. If you spent time with other men challenging you, roasting you, pushing you, right? And you were almost in this echo chamber of that energy, that would create a morphic resonance for you. You see what I'm saying? So you spending time at the gym, you spending time in some martial arts school, you spending time with maybe your dad's friends or whatever, right? Like, start to gain that understanding of what that brotherly nature is like, that high testosterone. Same with women, I would say. What are the high estrogenic environments that you can spend time in? Because that is literally creating your vibe, creating your frequency. As you're spending more and more time in these environments, you're gathering the chi of those environments. You are absorbing whatever is in that environment and taking it back home. So if you have a bad day at work, you're going to bring that bad day back home and you're going to get into an argument with your partner. You get what I mean? So instead, you want to understand that I generate this, right? I am the generator. I'm the one that creates it in the first place. So when the adversity shows up, or that random resistance shows up, you go, I trust that my higher self knows what to do in this moment. I'm going to trust that. That sounds like ridiculous blind faith. It might be. It might be delusional optimism. It might be something like that. But I know there is an invisible energy out there that has my best interest, that understands my heart, my mind, my soul, everything. There's no hiding from that one energy. There's no pretending around that one energy. So as long as you create an inside joke with you, an inside connection, an internal world, simulation, reflection with you, as you look in the mirror and you see that person, you will start to resonate greater with that person in the mirror. Listen to that again. Really start to understand these key points, guys. I'm not going to repeat myself here. If you look at yourself in the mirror and you really perceive, look at one eye of yours, right? Look at one single eye of yours and you really perceive, like, what are you seeing beyond your adventures right now? Like, are you seeing this entire timeline that you've gone through? Are you seeing that your body is like a storage unit of all of these memories and experiences that you've been feeding it? Are you starting to see your spiritual development in your eyes? You see, it's so subtle, but we can create this for ourselves. By doing mirror work, we amplify. When we take energy back towards ourselves, we become an energy billionaire. We don't start spreading it out too thin, okay? So if you want people lined up outside of your door wanting your energy, guess what? You have to stop spreading yourself so thin. Stop easily giving your energy to everybody. This is why people pleasers get drained, bro. They get exhausted because they're in this persona fatigue constantly. They can't be themselves around their parents. They can't be themselves around their friends at work. It's like they can never really experience that true level of depth and authenticity along with the relevance of what they're practicing and doing. So if you really start to create that merging, slowly start to merge that wall, that erase that boundary of, I have to be different around these people, or I have to be different around those people. Like, of course, there's things that you want to be conscious about. I don't swear in front of kids and things like this, right? I'm conscious of that. And you got to understand that too. However, what's the point of putting on this mirage and trying to put your best foot out there in front of somebody without really speaking your truth around them? you're gonna keep swallowing your words until you get a throat chakra block. Okay? So you want to be the most magnificent speaker and speak, but you cannot even speak to the person who you're interacting with. Think about this. If your goals are to be a speaker, you have got to speak. You get that? If you're a writer, you've got to write. If you're a painter, you've got to paint. That is the frequency, that's the morphic resonance you're stepping into. So if you ask me questions like, how do I get high T? How do I get, luck using morphic resonance? This is how you do it, man. You start to create an inventory of what you're doing, how you're spending your time, and how can these things slowly start to shift and change around. This is the real key to this path working. To be this avid shaman, you've got to take these calculated risks, these experimental maneuvers where you're like, I'm going to put myself through this echo chamber right now. Okay? Anyway, guys, I got to get going. Have an incredible day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. Let's go. Upward spiral. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We're all going to make it. We're here to win. Let's go.